Hello and welcome to the free 5-day New Year Healthy Kickstart Challenge. My name is Kim Jakes. I'm a midlife health and lifestyle design coach, and I help women confidently achieve their health goals by customizing a plan that they love. Now, here we are coming upon New Year's Eve, and we know what New Year's Eve comes along with. It comes along with healthy New Year's resolutions, right? Maybe you've made resolutions in the past. Maybe you love the idea of New Year's resolutions. Maybe you are one of those people who just like say, never again. If you've ever experienced setting a goal for yourself or a New Year's resolution for yourself and feel like you just disappointed yourself, it's not a fun feeling. Nobody likes to feel that way. But I'm here to let you know that the majority of people, I'm sure you probably already know, the majority of people who set New Year's resolutions, really they ditch their New Year's resolutions within the first 2 weeks. That's why we have, the gyms bursting at the seams in January, and then it's kind of like crickets in February. The gym rats all know that's the scenario that happens. But I'm going to let you know that there's a couple of very important foundational truths that if you know these foundational truths and you practice them, you will set yourself up for success, for making some resolutions and achieving them. So, if that excites you, then you're going to love this webinar. Now, I do recommend that while you're watching this, if now is not a good time, like you're really distracted, just go ahead and put it away for a little while. Come back to it. You will have access to this email. Just take some time to be with this information. And in fact, if you haven't already, go ahead and download the guide that accompanies with this as well, so that you'll be able to just have the tangible guide, take some notes, or at least have some paper and pen with you so that you can jot down things that cross your mind and that cross your feelings as we're going through this experience here today. Now, the couple of things, I'll give you a nutshell, and then we'll dive into the whole thing. So the nutshell is there's some very foundational things that people tend to forget to do or don't know are very important before setting a goal. Number one, it's important to do an energy audit. So, we're going to talk about what that really means, because you'll hear me say this time and time again. It takes energy to create change. And so, it's important to know if you have enough energy to be able to create change. And if you don't, what are a couple of things that we can do about that so that you have enough energy to be able to do it? Then it's important to really go through some mindset checks, really kind of identify what habits you already have that might not necessarily be in alignment with your goals that will need to be overcome. So that's an important component to it. And then also giving yourself a series of small, simple wins. What happens when you get one small, simple win is there's hormones that are released inside your body, hormones like dopamine that tell you, yay, you did it. When we were in elementary school, teachers would give us a little sticker whenever we achieved something, if we had 100 on our paper, and it felt good. And you know what? It made us want to study more. All right. And so that's one of the things that's really important, is to really prime the pump of successes before diving into a very maybe more challenging goal. So that's what these 5 days are going to be all about, is giving you some very small doable wins so that you can get those dopamine hits, start to gather some confidence around your ability to make changes, while simultaneously every single one of them is geared to help you increase your energy, so that once you get to your big fat hairy goal of a New Year's resolution, whatever that might be, that you'll have the energy and you'll have the confidence to be able to move forward and accomplish that larger goal. Okay. So I do also want to let you know that if you stay to the very end of this webinar and to the very end of the 5-day challenge specifically, you are going to be given a prize from me, right? Like, everybody likes prizes, and your prize is actually going to be, I'll let the cat out of the bag right now. Your prize is going to be that you're going to have access to a 45-minute free coaching call with me. I like to call it a complimentary wellness chat where you're going to be able to spend some time talking with me one on one in order to go through an energy audit or a health audit and just really identify what one New Year's resolution goal may be for you for 2023 that feels really in alignment. Okay. So those are some of the things that we're going to go over. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, especially if this is the first time that we're connecting. My name is Kim Jakes. I have been a wellness professional in various capacities since 1999. I've been a massage therapist, a polarity therapist. I owned a wellness center. I was an educator. I was the director of education. And I am a midlife health and lifestyle design coach. I shifted my career into this specifically, not surprisingly, after I myself stepped through midlife. And what happened is, despite the fact that I've been focused on wellness my entire career, when I started to get closer and closer to 40, maybe you've experienced this, your body starts to do different things, hormone shifts are happening, energy levels are shifting, and even the perspective on the world is kind of changing, right? And so I was unprepared for all of the things that were happening inside my body and started to really deep dive into what happens inside the body of a woman during midlife. I like to say maybe I went through a midlife crisis, or maybe it was just a midlife reset. I like to think it was a midlife reset. During this process of self discovery, I lost 33 pounds. I also made a self centered career pivot, which is the results of what you're seeing today. I went from owning a a larger scale wellness center with 30 employees and lots of beautiful community connections, but I really felt that my energy wanted to be more self-centered in this midlife season. And so we went through a transition where we sold our home, we sold our business, we sold all of our belongings actually. And it was in 2020 we actually minimized all of our belongings so that they fit inside a Prius V Toyota wagon, and we moved from our home state of Maine down to North Carolina. And that's where we are at now, is in Wilmington, North Carolina, enjoying a lifestyle by the ocean. So why I tell you all of this is because I have lived and am living through the midlife transition period. And I can let you know from personal experience that I would love to be able to talk to you about any and all, whether it's health or lifestyle pivots that you yourself are feeling like you're going through now. So, new year, new challenge. We have 5 days together. So, I'm going to start off by letting you know Newton's first law of motion states that energy in motion stays in motion, right? We have just come out of a holiday season in which we've been out of our routines, right? There have been holiday parties. It's also really dark outside. There's more obligations, kind of family obligations and social obligations. And so perhaps you may have slipped out of any exercise or eating routines that really help you feel your best. And it's so challenging to get the momentum to kickstart back into the movement, right? Movement in the right direction. But once that kickstart happens, energy in motion stays in motion. And that's what this 5 day challenge is all about, is to get you to make these 5 day little tiny action orientated commitments. And I promise you, at the end of the 5 days, you'll have more energy and you'll have more confidence and you'll be in motion so that you can keep moving on with any other goals that you have. Remember, we're priming the pump of confidence with this challenge. They're very simple actions. and they can lead to 5 days of consistent wins. So, if you play full out with this challenge, which means you open each day's emails, which means you embrace the opportunity to take on the challenge of the day, it's quite simple. And I'll even let you know what all 5 day challenges are going to be ahead of time so that you can kind of prepare yourself mentally along the way. So, again, here's the plan. Making change takes energy. So, the very first thing is it's important to make sure you do an energy audit. First question you ask yourself is, I have a big New Year's resolution in mind, and I want to ask myself, do I have enough energy to really make that change? Are there activities that are associated with that New Year's resolution that I will need to be able to do consistently? Are there perhaps different ways of shopping? Are there things that I need to learn? What things are associated with being able to be successful with that New Year's resolution? And in honesty, do I have enough energy to make that change? Now, if the answer is no, you have two options, right? If you think of energy as a budget, almost like if it was money in a bank, right? You have a certain amount of energy every day. Your body makes energy. It's actually called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And so if you have this budget of energy in this bank account called your cells, what can you remove from the energy draws so that you have more energy to be able to invest in these changes? So, as an example, like maybe you put energy into a volunteer organization, but you have a big, amazing New Year's resolution that you want to be able to invest some time and energy in. Maybe you are cutting out that volunteer activity while you are consciously and consistently investing energy in your New Year's resolution. Okay. Or the second option is you can add energy in, like you can increase your budget. You can kind of increase your bank account for energy. And there's different things that you can do for that. I'm going to walk you through 5 of them that you can do that are lifestyle orientated. But I also have all kinds of other tricks up my sleeve to help people be able to increase their energy. So if you have questions or you're like, I would like some more skills on that, feel free to reply to this email and say, Kim, I would like to know some more tricks around energy audits. Some of them come in the form of powders that you can put into a drink. Some of them are body activators that help your cells just make more energy in general. So if you are interested in learning about those special, beautiful little health hacks, I'd be glad to share with you as well. Now, because these are lifestyle positive habits that we're going to be implementing through these 5 days, and we all have the same 24 hours in a day, you only have a limited amount of time. Okay. You have a limited amount of energy that we're trying to expand and like honor. And then you have a limited amount of time. So, one of the things that happens is we're adding in these 5 different habits. It's going to crowd out some of your undesirable habits too. So, there's a little side benefit. But the first thing that we can do around is isolating habits that you would actually like to replace. It's one of those things like if I want more energy for my New Year's resolution, what is a habit that I could replace? Like as an example, watching a Netflix show today versus the habit that I want to add in, which is walking outside for 15 minutes. So the walking outside for 15 minutes kind of bumps out or crowds out the Netflix. So that's one of the benefits as well. So as you're looking at habits that you would like to crowd out, you're willing to crowd out, like maybe a Netflix show as an easy one. The first step is to just be aware of what's not working, right? I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough time. I'm just being really honest with myself. And so if I want to have enough energy and I want to have enough time, what are some habits that are clogging up my energy budget and my time budget so that I can clean them up and let them go? So, first step is awareness. Like, as an example, maybe awareness is that you take care of everything for everyone, right? You're that helper in the family that may be even overcompensating by over giving to people. And in fact, doing things that maybe they could do themselves, right? That's not an uncommon habit for people to have if they're loving, kind family members. So it's important to know what the item is, what the habit is, and then look at the beliefs around it. Why is it that in this example, you may feel as if you need to overcompensate, overgive, take care of things for everyone, even though they could take care of their own things, right? So, what are the beliefs around that? Maybe it's a belief of, that's how I gain love. Maybe it's a belief of, maybe even it goes so far as to say they won't love me unless I do it. Maybe it's a belief around, well, if I don't do it, they're not going to do it, right? So there could be all kinds of beliefs around that. And then step three would be, do you have the choice to change it, right? So in this case, it might be, gosh, I am doing everyone's laundry. And I have teenagers in the house. They could absolutely do their own laundry, right? Do I have the choice to change it? Yes. And then do you choose to change it? Maybe you have a little conversation with your teenagers and say, hey, teenagers, I have a New Year's resolution. I'm really serious about it. I'm doing an energy audit and a time audit. I've identified the fact that I really need your help in order to succeed in this. I need you to do your own laundry so that I can reclaim some of that energy and time so I can invest in myself in these particular ways. Okay. So that is one of the steps to accomplish for this 5-day challenge. The next is to how to create new habits. Now, it is really important to make sure that we're coming at this habits creation process from a place of self-love versus self-judgment. Okay. It is so easy for us to say, I my New Year's resolution is to lose 10 pounds, right? That's a very common New Year's resolution. But why is it you wanna do that? I wanna do that because, I feel as if I look awful, right? That is self-judgment. It's horrible, right? To say that to yourself. If it's not something that you wouldn't say to somebody else, why say it to ourselves, right? But if you were to say, "I want to lose 10 pounds as my New Year's resolution, and I want to do that because I know that I will feel way more confident and in my ability to show up and meet new people as I am going out on the dating scene. I'm doing it because I want to feel my best self, right? So that's a slight difference, same goal, but different perspective. So it's an important step to take. Now, we all know that in order to make change, it takes consistency. And we also may be very familiar with the concept of perfectionism. Continue to be a recovering perfectionist. Now, what happens is when we think that consistency is actually perfection, it's very uncommon that we are going to be perfect. So if we're going through this process of maintaining consistency, but expecting that every single day that we're perfect at it, it's very easy to disappoint ourselves very quickly, right out of the gate, maybe even the third day, right? And then when we're feeling disappointed in ourselves, that doesn't feel like a warm, fuzzy feeling like getting a sticker in elementary school, does it? So it actually motivates us to not want to do it more often. Whoa, right? Makes sense when you hear it, right? So it's important to know that consistency is a process. It's not about perfection. So even if it is as simple as I am, as day one, going to drink extra water, right? Oh, I didn't drink as much as I thought I was going to today, but at least I drank more water, right? So allowing for yourself to be in the process, not in the perfection. Celebration is essential every single day. Yay, I didn't drink as much water as I thought I was going to drink, but I drank more than I usually do. Okay, that's a celebration with consistent action. It is also important to know that accountability is key. Sometimes we'll sit there and say, well, I just don't have willpower or I just don't have discipline. Guess what? Most people don't have willpower and most people don't have discipline. It's just a fact. But people can have strategies. And so the strategies that I encourage you to look at are really surrounding yourself with supportive systems and people for reminder cues, such as putting things into your calendar, or if you use an electronic calendar, even going so far as to putting an alarm in your calendar that says, ding, 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 it's time to do X, Y, and Z. It's also good to just have conversations with people, like in the last example around the kids in the laundry, having conversations with your kids or your partner or, your desk mate at work and say, these are the things that I am doing this year. Do you mind helping by when you see me doing X, Y, and Z, reminding me of what my goals really are. Okay. Or putting like vision boards around yourself. These are things that are super important because you are not lacking in character because you can't do something without accountability. Accountability is just part of the system. Also, habit stacking is another concept to use. And habit stacking really means there are certain habits you already do, like perhaps you brush your teeth 2 or 3 times a day. You just do it. You don't have to think about it. It's already a, a perfectly integrated activity. Well, what you can do is add something to that because you already have the time set aside. So, as an example, perhaps every time you brush your teeth, you do 5 push ups, right? And so you're integrating in some movement and it's not a huge amount of movement, it's just a little bit. Okay. So, your habit stacking concept is adding a little bit again so that you can feel successful. And in fact, when you do those 5 push ups, I encourage you to like high five yourself, give yourself a hug, do all the things because it's the hormones of success that are going to help you crave wanting to do more. All right, so here's the 5 days. Here's what we're going to do. We're priming the pump for transformation. It's all about the mindset and the action. Okay, so day one, we're going to be drinking more water, as I suggested earlier. Remember, each one of these is about doing actions that will give you more energy so that by the end of the 5 days, you'll have more energy to invest in your larger New Year's resolution. So, dehydration leads to fatigue. So, you're going to be able to reclaim some of your energy. I encourage you to get yourself a nice big glass of water first thing in the morning. Maybe even add a half a squeeze fresh lemon into that water as well. It does a great job of cleansing the liver and alkalizing your body. And then at least 8 glasses a day so that you can really feel well hydrated. Now, here's a couple of tips. Number one, find a bottle or a glass that you love. As an example, you may not be able to see this because I'm a tiny little square right now, but I have a Wonder Woman glass. Every time I pick it up, I just am so in love with it. I love the feel of it. I love of course, the imagery of it. It's the perfect size for me. So just find a water bottle or a glass that you love. It's your glass, right? Also, if you are a logging person, you know, make a little log for yourself. There's so many apps out there. You can just put a little notch on a piece of paper. And then at the end of the day, high five yourself, hug yourself, celebration, happy hormones. Okay. Also, maybe you don't like just drinking plain water. That's okay. I don't. So add things that are low sugar and low carb to your water that are really good flavors, like berries or cucumbers, or my favorite little brain booster. It's filled with all goodness and it lights up your brain. So you automatically have more energy. So those are some little tips for you. Day two is going to be all about more veggies and fruit because veggies and fruit are filled with awesome nutrients, and we want your cells to be refueled with all the awesome nutrients they can. Fruits and vegetables also have a lot of fiber. And so, for a healthy gut microbiome, the good guy bacteria in your gut, they actually eat fiber. So it's like feeding the good guys inside your gut as well. So we're going to be eating more fruits and vegetables and fruit. Well, how much, you might ask? Well, we're talking more. Okay. So more might be different for every single person. We want to have you explore, have you have fun, and discover a few new recipes along the way. So, tips for this would be it's super simple if you were to just add berries. Berries are a great option. They're like fast food for the natural whole food world, you can add them first thing in the morning with your yogurt or your dairy-free yogurt, your gluten-free oatmeal, your chia seed pudding. You can also blend them in with fruits and vegetables right into your smoothies as well. So it doesn't always have to be a salad. People kind of get tired of salads after a period of time, right? Day 3 is going to be all about getting active. And there are 3 types of movement. So I encourage you to explore which ones you already do a lot of, and encourage you to explore which ones you're not doing a lot of, and choose at least one version of it. So you can move slowly and frequently throughout the course of the day. Now, if you have a desk job, this means actually having to plan to get up every hour and walking, whether you walk to the cooler, go up and down the stairs, just doing a little bit of something to get a little bit of movement throughout the course of the day. You can also add in sprinting. Maybe you do a 20-second all out sprint a couple of times, right? That kind of telephone pole to telephone pole sprint back and forth. That's another way that you can move. Or it could be jumping jacks, standing still, right? And also lifting heavy things that challenge your muscles so that they'll know, hey, we actually need to stay strong. So those are the 3 types of movement. You're going to be choosing one of them and being able to do that throughout the course of the rest of the week, but certainly during this day. So I encourage you to start slow. It's better to just do something really slow and easy. Remember, this is easy wins. It's the success of an easy win that's going to allow for us to have the stamina and the energy and the motivation for the larger wins. Try to have movement at the same time every single day. If it's your lunch break, walking around the parking lot, whatever it might be for you, it's going to just make habits that much easier if they're the same time every day. And then find an accountability partner. You know what? Gosh darn it, it is more motivating to show up for somebody else than it is to show up for ourselves sometimes. The next one, day 4, is all about limiting screen time. Perhaps sometimes to look at would be before going to bed or while eating. Those are 2 easy ones to be able to limit some screen time. And if you need an activity to do while you're off your screen time, going for a walk in nature, and setting a timer for yourself saying, hey, you know what? It is 8 p.m. I am off screen time. Day 5 is all going to be about taking a break, taking a 5 to 10-minute break every hour so that you can help improve your focus and concentration. So many times I'll have women say to me, well, I'm kind of nervous to take a break because if I'm on a roll, I don't want to break that roll. I come back and I feel like I'll be unfocused. Here's a little tip for you. When you go to take a break, before you go to take a break, take a moment, look at your list of things to do, identify what you're going to do in the next hour. Write it down for yourself. When you go take your walk and you come back, I promise you that you are going to be more focused, more energized, more motivated, and you will be on target and know exactly what you're going to do in that next hour. So, takeaways for today. First of all, starting a new habit does take effort. It won't happen overnight. But with this 5-day jumpstart, the new year is going to be an outstanding one. Creating new habits means staying consistent each day. And you're going to be able to make these simple changes. They're going to make a huge difference. And today is the very first start. And remember that making changes does take energy. Doing that energy audit of asking yourself, do I have enough energy to invest in making my larger New Year's resolutions? If not, what can I give up? And what can I do to increase my energy levels, like each one of these activities that we're going to go through day 1 through day 5. So each day you'll receive an email prompt with a reminder of what the day activity is all about. I encourage you to reply to the email with any questions that you might have throughout the course of this challenge. I would love to be able to be there to support you and to cheer you on. Also, if you're in the Midlife Metabolism Reset for Women Facebook group, that is also a great space to ask questions, take celebratory selfies as you're taking a walk, as you're drinking your 8th glass of water. Remember, it's all about the celebration that will allow for you to gain the confidence and the momentum for long-term change. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you at the end of this challenge.